to the RunnerX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running. Welcome back to the Tough Love Tuesday. This is going to kind of be a quick one because it goes into what we were talking about last week and the idea of leaning, okay? When we think of lean, we think of basically if you're standing up straight, I'm going to put my hands on my hip and I'm going to move my upper body forward, right? And my lower body's going to stay in the same position. We don't want you to lean when you run, okay? When you lean, that's whether you realize it or not, your head weighs like, I'm gonna mess this up, but it's over 30 pounds, okay? There's a saying, again, martial arts guys, sorry, but if you do any martial arts, you'll understand this. Where the head goes, the body will follow. It's a big deal in martial arts. You really, in judo, which I love judo, because a smaller person, somebody that doesn't necessarily have a lot of strength, can basically take someone's forward momentum and use it against them, right? It's using efficiency of movement to basically protect yourself, okay? So one of the ideas is that if you can get somebody's head to move in a different direction from their feet, you can actually flip them, right? That's how you actually are able to do some of those crazy movements where a small woman might be able to flip a very large man. So let's think about that. Where the head goes, the body will follow. So if I'm trying to fall and I'm bending forward, okay, that head is moving over the center of my body. It's in front of the ball of my feet if I'm leaning. And therefore, the only way to stop the momentum or to get back into position is to put a foot in front of the other and stop that forward momentum. Where if you think of it as it's ears, shoulders, hips, ankle, and all I want to do is unweight. Basically, I'm just unweighting. Think about being maybe in a pool, right? And if I were going to try to jump off of the side, if I'm in a pool and I want to get off the side of the pool, I'm going to put my hands on the side of the pool and I'm going to unweight, right, to get myself up. So you're unweighting to move into that fall. And you want your head to stay over your hips so that as you unweight, you're not changing the momentum, right? You want your pull to be in response to that unweighting. Now, in order to get faster, we pull in response to the fall. And the larger the angle of fall, okay, the faster you will pull and the faster you will move. Now, we're working on some graphics for this, but think of it as a pie or as a clock, right? And my ankle is at the center of that clock and my head is at 12 o'clock. Most people think you have to fall to the 1, okay? Go from 12 to 1. Or if you're facing the other direction, going to 11. You don't have to fall that far, guys. You literally unweight by just a tiny bit. And that little tiny bit is like 3 degrees. You're barely going like 2 minutes, right? And you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall. But you're really not, okay? So if you look at it like a pie, we don't want you, if you looked at a pie and your foot's in the center of the pie, everybody wants to eat like a big piece of pie. Like my husband would eat to 3 o'clock, right? Well, that obviously is a face plant. We don't want you to face plant. We want you to, and we don't need you to go to 2 o'clock or even like 7. Right? We don't need you to go to between 1 and 2, let's say, at like 7 minutes after. We don't even need you to go to 1. We need you to go to like 3. We need you to take a sliver as though you're almost on a diet, okay? So just take a sliver of pie as you learn to do the fall. And then be very careful that you don't try to grab what we call the whipped cream off the other piece, right? If you try to grab the whipped cream off the other piece, that means you are leaning forward from your waist and you're trying to get the next piece. So guys, what I want you to do is work on this idea of falling Sorry about that. My dogs weren't trying to get into the room while I was recording. What I want you to do is think of that unweighting, right? I want you to think of it as coming with your hips as a center of mass, moving over your feet, right? And keep that head in line with your shoulders and your hips so that you don't let that big bowling ball take you off balance. The other thing I want you to realize is that when your feet are pulling, I describe it like a duck, okay? If you've ever seen a duck in water, a duck's upper body looks totally calm. If you ever watch a duck, they just start gliding across. What you don't see is underneath, their little feet are paddling away like a crazy duck, right? That's kind of what happens when you run, and it's of course worse when you're trying to run downhill, right? You're trying to keep up with the fall. But that's what you want to realize. You want to realize your upper body is staying together as a unit. Your hips, shoulders, and your ears are all in line. They're falling as a unit as you unweight, and your feet are moving in response to that fall, okay? So today's Tough Love Tuesday is be like a duck. Go out there and try to just unweight and then move just your feet in response to that fall. And remember, that fall is just a tiny sliver of the pie, but it's not the center of the pie is not at your hips. It's at the ball of your feet, okay? It's your ankle with your hips and then your shoulders and your ear. Give that a try today, guys, and we will see you Friday when I'm talking to Valerie. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRx podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.